Hi everyone, in this video I am going to be offering you some intuitive guidance and messages that are spiritual in nature. So if you are a spiritual seeker, a light worker, and someone who's considering themselves on a path of spiritual awakening, this may really help you out. This collective reading is timeless. All the messages are really there to support you, but take what resonates, leave the rest. And if you're new to my channel, I'm Anika Ray. I'm a spiritual intuitive teacher and coach who specializes in a soul level guidance. I also do Akashic Records readings. So if you're interested in the Akashic Records, this may be the channel for you. Now, this reading has two parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is going to really be just general intuitive messages. And then part 2, we really start to ground this and offer some additional guidance with tarot and oracle cards as our intuitive and psychic tools. And again, just relax, enjoy these messages. You can take on and listen to at any point. It is a timeless reading. So here we go. Let's jump right in. And the first thing that I'm seeing is there's a lot of emotional healing, whatever it is. And they're giving me sort of like that cloud of doubt or any kind of fears or things that have been sort of surrounding you. Maybe they're not really even coming from you. You could be picking them up from the collective or other people. And that energy that was maybe influencing you is kind of pointing you in the direction of needing some healing, specifically energy healing. Specifically, what I'm getting is the root chakra issues and the solar plexus chakra issues. So this is something that's coming through and came through in readings about giving away power and taking your power back, being in your authenticity, in your truth. So this is where the healing really is pointing. Your spirit is really pointing you in that direction. And don't worry, your guides and your angels will guide you to the modality or even to some steps that you need to take as far as the healing. They're giving me one particular exercise. If you're drawn to doing this, this is very helpful for psychic intuitive healing, is the waterfall of healing energy really falling over you, imagining that waterfall as beautiful crystalline white or yellow light, washing all of these things and going deeper into all of the parts of energy grid and consciousness that are holding you down or pressing you down, because this is something that, even though it's triggered in this lifetime, might have not been from this lifetime. It's leading me to the past life. And again, we're not in the records, but I'm just picking up on some things from the past life that where you were either tormented, tortured, or even slightly like mentally ill. For some of you, again, take whatever resonates. If it doesn't, it's impossible to know which past life, but there's something really dark where you were in that space for a long time, space of constraint. And that's because you had to either denounce what you were saying in that lifetime, which was really saying your truth, but it wasn't accepted. And you got to the space where they either imprisoned you or tortured you to sort of flip you to the other side of maybe this tribe's or this community's point of view. We were certainly looked at as an outcast. You may actually still feel these feelings of being different, black sheep, outcast in this lifetime, and really like you don't even belong, maybe not even in the community or your planet or this planet. So, Spirit is really sending you, so are your guides and angels, a lot of love and light and appreciation for your strength and resilience and willingness to return into body and to experience this lifetime where you're able or you're called to stand in your own authenticity, be who you truly are, and express really your truth. Some of you are meant to really put this truth into work and share it with other people, whether this is you turning it into a script or a lot of your creative, so maybe into a book, something that shares this wisdom of overcoming some of the adversities and things in your life that you have even had some hard times in childhood. I also see that as well. This is just an additional information or confirmation for some of you to write about it, to speak about it. Some of you meant to really speak, be motivational speakers. This touches on your spirituality as well. So in essence, it is like a full circle for you. The spiritual truth is also your personal truth. As you speak your truth, it starts to really shift this and heal this solar plexus chakra, which is all about personal power. And I'm also getting like the power animal, calling your power animal, whatever that is. For some of you, it is lion. Maybe it is something connected to your zodiac. You could be Leo, or you resonate with cats. As a matter of fact, before I did this reading today, a lot of animals were showing up in my dreams, specifically cats. If you are drawn to the cat energy, lion, tiger, puma, anything that has to do with that cat family, I encourage you to call on that power animal. This is also, for those of you that are into shamanic work, a really good indication that you're meant to go down that path and follow the roots of the Native Americans and shamans and go deep into these patterns and into maybe this darkness and things that have followed you from past lives into this lifetime and integrate them into the light, as well as you're meant to stand as a healer and as a reference point for other people. Now, this energy may feel heavy at times, but again, you are on the mend. Those are the words of the guides, and you're able to really stand in that power and shine the light on all of those dark shadow parts of self, and also that for others, so that others are not terrified of some of this parts of self and going into that deep healing, because not everybody is really open or knows where to go when it comes to healing. Some people are terrified of what that would open up, the Pandora box. On a spiritual level, maybe they feel like they need deep cleansing, but they don't really, if they open the box, like how deep did they have to go and how they really need to face self and aspects of self and things from past and even past lives. So you're standing at that as that reference point as a light worker for those that are feeling maybe not able to be as vulnerable, and you're able and you're getting to that point of vulnerability so that you can truly heal. I know this was like a big message, an expanded message, but really take it. And part of this thing is also your heart chakra opening up, expanding. You have essentially chosen to be here. Part of it is because of this heart chakra expansion. For some of you, this may be about compassion and kindness to others, and again, about service and being a light worker. But for some of you, it is about yourself, healing your inner child, bringing in that compassion and empathy for self. It really is about standing in a heart-centered space, being vulnerable, yet being strong. There's something about the contradiction between vulnerability and heart-centeredness, or strength, and vulnerability, that's not as heart-centered, right? Like strength is not necessarily, like it's the opposite of vulnerability. And this is something that maybe in a collective we have all learned. And some, regardless of the gender, kind of lean into like, I have to be strong, and therefore if I'm vulnerable, it'll take away from my strength, or I can't be both at the same time, because it just doesn't mean that. And that heart-centeredness really hits on these 2 points and allows you how to be vulnerable and strong in a heart-centered way where you really connect these two. The author that could be helpful to you, and for some reason I'm hearing her name, is Brené Brown. I mean, she's a very world-famous author that talks about vulnerability and courage to be vulnerable and really expressing yourself. this also could be the calling for you to be vulnerable with people that you can trust, to open up deeper if you are in healthy relationships with friends and family, and you have a partner, to really be open to that. And also it's calling you to open yourself up to those kind of relationships where there is more depth, there is more vulnerability, there is more deeper connection. And again, this leads to more authenticity. There is a desire of you on a soul level to experience this kind of bonds that are deeper than just linear bonds. It also really leads me to believe that some of you are stepping into more maturity for yourself. A lot of you are in transitional periods, meaning that there is some sort of a big transit happening. And I'm not talking about just astrological. I'm talking about cycles in humanity and your human life, meaning maybe you are hitting the pivotal points. Some of you may be hitting a point of where you're retiring and you're going into, maybe you're going to midlife. Some of you are going into and stepping into that maturity where you are graduating college. Maybe you're going into your 30s. This is what I'm getting. A lot of you have this Saturn return. And if you know Saturn return, it happens right between ages of 28 and 30. And then later on in, around our 60s. So there's 2 Saturn returns, and then there's another one, but not everybody really lives through that one. So I believe so. Again, I'm not an avid astrologer. I do dabble in astrology a little bit, but from what I know, this is a period that I'm sensing intuitively that you're in, and that's why some of these things are happening. You may call it also a dark night of the soul for some of you, but that dark night of the soul really, it's almost like corresponding to some of the cycles in human life, like that midlife, or like retirement, going into, really thinking of what is this about? Like, it's like a major transit, and it's calling you into more maturity, including spiritual maturity, including where you need to go as far as your human self. Questioning like what is there, what is left for some of you that are like in that older bracket, if you will, what is left to do? And for some of you in a midlife, what else can I do? And some of you, that are like in that younger population is, where do I begin? Like, what is my purpose? What do I need to really do the whole, going to college, get married, have kids, right? Some of you will go down that traditional path, and some of you are questioning whether this is even an option for you because of the way that society is, the way things have shifted, changed. And so you're questioning is all of these things, like, where do I begin? What else to do? And what is there to do? What else is there to do, right? So that's a big topic as well. And then we're going to dive into the third topic. Usually the spirit gives me like 3 big messages. Then I'm going to dive into some numbers, frequencies that I love doing, guides, anything else that comes through. So the next thing that I'm seeing is very spiritual in nature. And that is that some of you are really working on your mastery. You have ascended masters present. This whole week, I've been feeling the presence of Lady Nada. Please look her up and see, if this resonates with you on some level. I'm also seeing Queen Yin, Buddha. There's something about mastery over mind and matter. This is what I'm hearing, the words. So it is an alchemical process. So if you are working in like transformation, like neuroplasticity, affirmations, anything mind driven, if you are having this foggy mind, if you are really working on, really gathering your thoughts, more conscious thinking, again, it kind of ties you back to the beginning of the reading. If you were going through the whole reading, really that whatever it is that was going on, it's affecting you from past life, and it may feel like your mind is kind of jumbled, or there are a lot of thoughts. It could be either fast thoughts or mind jumbled, or maybe some fogginess, or maybe ungrounded, or maybe you don't even trust the mind or value the mind, or maybe the thoughts are too linear for you and the thinking can get really jumbled. The Ascended Masters are there. Call in on some of these energies, like I mentioned, Queen Yin, Buddha, Lady Nada, also some star seeds energies. If you're drawn to the star seeds energies, the Council of Light, very gentle, very helpful. All of these Ascended Masters could be a part of your Council of Light. They're guiding you into the space where you can really be aligned with your mind. For some of you, your mind is so fast, it's creating anxiety for some reason. I'm getting anxiety, like you have a lot of thoughts, and these thoughts are racing, and you don't know where to start first, and it starts to create anxiety. There's a lot of triggering, a lot of memories from the past. Some of them can be past lives. A lot of this activity is happening in the mind, and they want to alleviate and put you at ease. Some of the things that could really help you out is particular frequencies. This is what I've been working on myself. So frequencies are really to tune your brain waves. When I say frequencies, I'm seeing the frequencies 528, 733. I don't even know if that's a frequency. I'm seeing these numbers that you can go onto, YouTube and see if anybody's doing tuning forks, if anybody on the internet is offering. I know 528. There are a lot of meditations that resonate with this particular frequency. Is meant to stabilize your brain waves, to balance them out. It also is helpful if you go and do some meditations around heart chakra, the vagus nerve that goes through the heart. This is all showing up, but specifically anything to do with opening of the heart, healing of the heart, emotional healing, and then connecting the brain to the heart. I haven't seen this in a long time, but here it is. Spirit is mentioning the infinity sign, the 8, connecting it to, like the infinity from your brain into your heart. That's what is being mentioned. And archangels that are showing up is Archangel Zadkiel, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael. And then I'm seeing a lot of this little cherub angels that are very much helping you heal around you. I also am seeing seraphim angels. I'm seeing like one really huge one. So if you want to Google all of that and see, like, the seraphim are really like very powerful beings. They're huge. They're kind of like archangel looking, but this particular one looks like very fiery. And it has like a harp. It's showing me like a harp. It's an instrument. And it's very loving energy. It's almost like this seraphim angel is playing this melody to you. It could be these frequencies. So honor, if you want to call in the presence of all these angels, archangels, seraphim angels, it's meant for you to use them for healing or in the meditation. But I really see like more of a healing practice. Honor what they're giving you. If you're not highly intuitive, they will show up with certain colors, symbols in your dreams. Use all that for your own healing. This is a big topic today, is healing and going into this. And another thing I want to tell you is they're good for manifesting. So if you have been trying to manifest more for yourself and it's hitting this these frequencies, and the healing is going to open your heart chakra to what these possibilities are. So if the thoughts are, I'm trying to manifest things, but they're not really manifesting or showing up, when you do this healing, it's going to open you up to manifestations and to call in on the presence of your guides that are able to help you with manifesting. They don't even want to go further than that. They're leaving me here with the healing because this is the first part. And remember, this healing, it's really hitting the energy, the brain waves, the frequencies. I'm not seeing any numbers today. I wonder it's because we're already touched on these frequencies. And so I'm not seeing particular numbers. And I'm going to honor spirit and guides, that are showing up with that. But I am seeing an affirmation, and also the invocation. So I'll explain. The invocation is, again, calling in the light into your chakras, imagining this light. And remember, I mentioned the waterfall falling on you. You can also have and invoke the light as you're seeing it fall over you to go into each individual chakra and to stay there as long as it's needed. This is the guidance I'm receiving, so you can really heal and cleanse and balance and let go of all of that is in a chakra. Breath work could be helpful as well with this practice. And this is that invocation of light. The affirmation that I'm seeing is, the light heals me inside and out. The light heals me or is healing me inside and out. And I'm seeing you repeat this 10 times. I don't know why the number 10. Just go with it if you feel drawn to. I am seeing the number 9. So this is a really good omen and sign that this is like nearing completion, meaning that this big cycle, things that you have experienced are nearing completion in your life. So I'm going to leave you with these messages. If this was helpful, please like, subscribe, share this video. And, I also offer readings. If you're interested in that, the links will be in the description. I offer 2 types of reading. This type of reading that's more intuitive and soul to soul. And then, of course, the Akashic records, which is a soul level reading, that could be helpful as well. So either one helps. And I also teach how to access and read the Akashic records. All of these links will be in the description. I'm sending you lots of love and light. If you want to stick around for part 2, I will go more into the tarot oracle guidance, which should be fun and lighter a little bit, but we never know what shows up. Sending you lots of love and light, friend. See you next time. And if you're joining me in part 2, see you in part 2. Hi everyone, so we are in our part 2 of an oracle and tarot reading, and I just really want to thank you for sticking around and watching this part. I'm going to start with some tarot cards, and we're going to see, I'm being guided to pull 6 cards. And then we'll really see what we're getting, if it makes sense, if it relates to the reading. Cards are kind of flying out. I don't read reversals, just FYI. Right, we already have 6 cards, and they're really telling us a specific story. So let's start first with this energy of the Page of Wands, right? This is what I'm seeing first. So there is like almost on this card, there's like a person walking away from something. And this is really what I'm sensing here. The spirit is saying, and there's also like a dragon blowing on some fire. So all of the worries and everything that you had to overcome, the adversities, the worries, the things that were essentially really hard, especially in the past year or 2, I'm sensing. And this leads us into all of these, the 7 of Swords, right? You have been in that sword energy. A lot of things, maybe you've had some conflicts as well in your personal life, but this is like been going on. This is not something that just started yesterday. This could be also internal conflicts that have been happening. It's almost like what I'm getting from spirit is the things that you have gone through. You could call like kind of like that rebirth by fire or dark night of the soul. But there's something about letting all of these things that have been hurting you, that you had to go through, that you had to process, really walking away from that in that cardinal energy. And in order for you to do that, there is this Fool energy. So the energy of the Fool is the beginning, right? The new beginning. So you're letting or leaving all these things behind to do something completely new. It's like a fresh start. But this to me feels like not just like a turning of the new page. It feels like a complete transformation. For some of you, it feels even like a health transformation. I'm getting literally you like really like have overcome some things when it comes to your body image, and you feel so much more confident in your body. Maybe you have lost weight, maybe you've worked on yourself, maybe you were working out. For some of you, it is really just like, I don't want to do this anymore, you know, whether it is a relationship, career. For somebody, I see really divorce, right? Like you're cutting the cords, you're making a clean break, but this is more about transformation and rebirth. And that, you know, you have, if you stay committed and loyal, because there's a dog in this picture of a Fool, if you stay committed and loyal to this path of transformation, because it's not necessarily over. We never really end our transformation. It's always ongoing. But there is something about cutting cords with the past and with how things have been, things that have been, as I mentioned, that you've been going through for a while, and you're making a clean break. I'm seeing months. So things are really going to shift into gear as you get into spring, because I'm seeing April, and the Fool is like April's Fool. So I'm seeing the date April 1st. And there is something also happening major for you in April. I will be curious what that would be, but you know, keep in mind, again, this is just possibility, but I'm seeing something like a pivotal moment. So you could be either moving, you could either start a new, like a completely new chapter. There's something very transformational. Maybe some new people are coming into your life. It is something about helping you stay on this path of transformation. So it's almost like in April, you get this validation of why you sort of had to go through all of these, adversities and dark night of the soul and things in the past. It's like you're bearing this reward, and it has a lot to do with the new beginnings. You may even get some additional information. Now we're getting into this card of the Ace of Swords, which is additional clarity. This is like a clarity where you really know after this month, like as to where to go, what to do. There's like a clear plan of action and a clear sense of direction in your life. It almost feels like your entire life unravels. Maybe this is like a big thing where you just have this profound sense of clarity, and you just know after this whole cycle, and in April, like you're like, okay, this is where I need to go. This is what I need to do. These are the people I need to surround myself with. But it's more really about you, and it is very much that Aquarian kind of clarity. You know, this sharpness in thoughts, like your thoughts get all of a sudden clear. And if you have been struggling with clarity of your thoughts, this is what it all comes down to. And it's almost like you get to the point of that inner peace. There is a picture of this beautiful bird here in the card. And I don't know if you can really see it. The bird it's like standing a little slightly sad, but it's kind of you holding the sword of clarity and saying, yeah, it seems like I have gone through some pretty heavy things. I've been, I've learned my lessons. I have scars from the sword. Really kind of implies this really like scars, but I've also gained wisdom. So it's almost like that acknowledgement. I've been through a lot of stuff. I've gone through kind of a battle, and I've had these battle scars, but I am wearing them proudly. Here's this movement again into this Knight of Swords energy, which is I'm moving forward. But I'm moving forward with this balanced mind and thoughts and actions that are really clear to me where I need to go and what I need to do. And so I'm moving with that. And there's also a lot of gold here, which really is telling me that spirit is, it's almost like urging you to not go too much into that shielding of the swords, but almost like I'm wearing these scars proudly, things that I've gone through. I'm getting out of this in a way victorious, and there is this balance, and I know that I needed to, it's almost like it's validating, I needed to go through this to come out victorious, which brings us to the Nine of Pentacles, which is then you go to work onto what you really, truly desire. There's a lot of abundance coming through. It's almost like when you're really clear as to where you need to go, and you're also clear that you needed to get there through this journey, which is both human and also spiritual, then you turn to the Pentacles and you get to work. It's that Capricorn energy, Virgo energy. Some of you can be Capricorn and Virgos. We do see a lot of sword energy. We don't see necessarily water here. So I don't see a lot of Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, but I do see Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. I definitely see a lot of sword energy. So all of the air signs, and I do see some wand energy, although more Sagittarius rather than a Leo. So there is this presence of sharpness of the mind and then grounding this energy. Now, to really like look into the spirit sayings, look into the story and how this is really a story of human condition of overcoming some big things in life, like learning a big ass lesson, and I don't know if I could say that on YouTube, but learning a big lesson behind this, it is a pivotal moment in your life. If you have listened to me in part 1, I did say for a lot of you that were watching that part, you are on this precipice of going through a major transition in your life. A lot of you are really walking away from things. It's almost like that Saturn return. Like you could be between 28 and 30. You could be in midlife and you could be retiring, but there's something you're really walking away from, the way you used to live, the way you used to think. And you needed to go through that big cycle of, that had been going on for a long time. And it was painful, but it led you to this moment. And as of spring, you go into an action mode. Okay, so that's with our tarot cards. Now I'm going to go into some oracle cards here, and there's a lot of them. But we're going to start with the Gaia oracles and pull some of them and see if there's anything that comes through. Again, I read the oracle and tarot intuitively and not as much as maybe others kind of focus on some things that are maybe more technical. But we're going to go into and pull out 2 cards. Evolution. Wow, this card is I don't know how to really turn this, but this card is beautiful. It has all of this light around it. It says earth changes, climate changes, transformation. This is exactly the validation. It also has number 45. Some of you can be 45, and then liberation. Look at these cards, are so gorgeous. So Spirit is really validating your evolution, but this is an evolution not only as a person, but also spiritually. This human journey is allowing you to evolve as spiritually. It's like that ascension. And it also is leading me to transformation. Again, it's like this rebirth through fire. It's giving me energy of a phoenix. In the second card of liberation, breaking free from a negative attachment. This is, again, some of you could be 25 or towards the end of your 20s. This is really a pivotal moment for you. These cards are like screaming at me, basically to tell you that this was necessary, this was needed, but that you really are in the space of liberation. This liberation is a liberation from the past. This past goes deep into some karmic patterns as well. This is a liberation from any kind of restrictions that you have taken on from your ancestral pattern, from other people. When I say it's not like you're not going to have any issues anymore, but it's liberating you from those limited thinking, limited beliefs, and you're really going to evolve now more than ever. And then just to show you, and the bottom of this deck is Zen Garden, which to me really indicates that at the end of this, there is this blissful, more balanced energy. You're really going to move into like a more balanced state for yourself. And I'm really happy that you are. Then I have also some other cards here. I have some fairies that want to be present for us, which you know, who doesn't love fairies? So I'm going to pull 3 cards from the fairies, and maybe we'll even read some of them. Let's see what we get. Oh, right away, celebration. It's a beautiful card of celebration. It says, get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out and dance and play. An invitation could be on the way. I'm really sensing that this is going to be one of those moments where you celebrate, but you don't celebrate just like an event. You're celebrating yourself, if that makes sense. And the fairies are there to really let you know, hey, celebrate your transformation. There are like some really beautiful wings, and then it almost looks like Alice in the Wonderland celebration. So I really encourage you to, when you get to that point, and again, I feel very strongly that it is like the end of, it's the end of winter and the beginning of spring, that really spring equinox, the April, the end of March, and you're ready to celebrate, you're ready to let your hair down, you're like, woohoo, you know, like letting go of steam as well. This is as gentle as it is inspirational. You're inspiring others to also look at themselves. It's like you are really letting your hair down, and you're letting yourself be you. You're finally like really at peace with who you are. Wherever you are, whatever you had to go through, you are beaming of this light and confidence and celebration. Wow, this card really wanted to come out. And this is nature sign. Be receptive to the subtle messages from nature as you're about to go, as you go about your day. Nature talks to us continually. We need to open our hearts and minds. So I really sense that this is not just nature. This is everything in nature has its own cycles, and you're learning to be a part of nature, and you're learning to be receptive to kind of like these changes that you go through as a human. Like you're really accepting of that. It's almost like giving me an image. Spirit is giving me an image of, let's say you are completely okay with having gray hair. I mean, this is something that I know it's like out of left field. Or, you know, like you're okay with like where you are in life, with as far as like your progress. Like there's something so innate and peaceful, and these butterflies are really about transformation. So they're letting you know that you are at peace, and that those natural cycles that you had to go through as well, like that's also playing a part in this transformation. Believe in magic. Believe in magic. Open your eyes and see the magic that's all around you. Nature, the fairy of the northern lights, says that you're a part of nature, and so you are magical too. So this is, if you're drawn to like northern lights, they're really sparkly and beautiful, and maybe some of you get to experience them in this lifetime, but this is really you. You are that magic, and the spirit wants to remind you that you have this wand, magic wand. You have really participated in this heart-centered transformation, the color green, and that there is a light always present around you and within you. And then they're asking me to pull one card out of the unicorns. Unicorns, again, magical beings, some of us believe in them, myself included. And this is Diana Cooper's deck. And I'm going to pull one card out of here so that we can close this reading. It says oneness. Wow, what a beautiful card. Look for the common in humanity. Invoke Lemurian light. This is card number 42. Let's read a little bit. Let me see if I can read out of this card so that we know. Intuitively, right away, what I'm picking up is that you are point of light. You're acknowledged as this presence of, maybe you are a spiritual seeker, and really, well, I'm assuming you are, but also light worker, that your story is a story of humanity, but it has uniqueness around it, that you are infused with light, and to really open up to like-minded people. There's more people that find really comfort and solace and inspiration in your story. And you're also, Spirit is saying, you are that unicorn. You're unique in the way you express yourself. Maybe there's something about, Spirit is saying how you dress, how you present yourself, how you wear your hair. Maybe you have some purple in your hair, or even blue or yellow, like maybe your hair is blondish. There's something really unique about you, maybe even eclectic, artistic, but really being there in that presence as a unicorn. And I just want to briefly, let's see, this is like towards the end. There it is. This card is a reminder that we're all part of the divine. In essence, we are one huge entity. Source is an ocean of love, and we are all droplets of it. Each droplet, even when it's on a journey of individual experiences, remains a part of the ocean and seeks ways to return to it. When you choose this card, your unicorn guidance is to look for the common humanity in everyone. Our breath is our connection to Source, and all humans and animals breathe. Our hearts all beat. We're all born vulnerable. We all look for love and happiness, whether rich or poor, boss or worker, healthy or sick. We're all source energy seeking to learn. Whatever religion, race, or culture we're experiencing, we are all droplets on our way back to the ocean of love. Hold this in your heart and be compassionate to all. Seek the divine thread that connects us all. Reach out to someone today. A smile, a word, any form of connection with a stranger strengthens the bond. When you have linked with unicorns and they're working through you, the energy of love is even stronger. This accelerates your own journey back to Source. And because it says Lemurian, it says Lemurians were a high-frequency force that spread love, light, and healing wherever it was needed. They worked closely with unicorns and absolutely understood oneness. Ask Lemurian and unicorn energy to touch your heart with oneness and see humans worldwide holding hands. The affirmation is, I'm one with everyone. But that's really what, if you're drawn to Lemurian, and as I'm saying, you are that unicorn, you could be really drawn to, if you heard me in the first part talking about being that reference point for people, and being that guide, being the Lemurian yourself. Maybe you have past lives in Lemuria. And if you feel drawn to this unicorn energy, really calling on the unicorns, calling on the fairies, call in on the nature. I do see Archangel Raphael really present in this reading. I do see Mother Mary as well, but Archangel Raphael is so present around you. Imagine this color of green or surrounding you, surrounding your heart, going into your heart center. It is a really beautiful energy. I hope that this was helpful to you. I'm sending you lots of love and light. If you have enjoyed this, like, share, subscribe to this channel so I can post more readings. And I see you next time, my friend.